how many countries are participating in Eurovision 2024. I'm going to explain to you the process, tell you how many we have so far, and of the remaining countries, I'm going to tell you who I think is in and who is out. So let's keep it. If you're new here, welcome. My name is Tom. I'm an Irish Eurovision analyst, and on this channel you can find stats, analysis, reactions, and just general obsession about Eurovision. So first of all, let's just go through what the process generally is. Yesterday, September 15th, 2023, was the final day that broadcasters could submit their applications to participate in Eurovision 2024. The next important date is October 13th. So any countries who've applied being Eurovision 2024 have until then to withdraw without any financial penalty. So any countries, for example, who aren't sure whether they will or will not compete this year can apply on September 15th, and then if things don't work out, they can just withdraw before October 13th and they don't get any fine for that. Then a couple of days after that, I'm not sure the exact date, I think approximately October 15th, the official participation list will be revealed and we can see exactly who's in and who's out. Now, the important thing to note is that when countries apply on September 15th, they don't have to tell us. It's not a public process. They don't have to announce it if they don't want to. Most countries will do that, probably because their Eurovision fans are bugging them on social media. Are we in next year? What's happening? And stressing out about it. But yeah, obviously some countries don't get that level of fan stress, or they just have a tendency not to reveal. And then there also may be countries who haven't yet secured funding and they're trying to use this extra 4-week window to get something confirmed so that they can participate. So yesterday, September 15th, on social media was wild. I was pretty much on Twitter the whole day. It was pretty crazy. Lots of rumors coming in and then countries announcing, so kind of like these big highs, and then some countries pulling out as well, so these big lows. So we started the day with 30 confirmations. So these countries had already confirmed. The most recent one was Croatia, who confirmed on the 14th. So kind of getting us off to a nice start. I was hoping we get a little bit of a confirmation choo-choo train going on. So we started off the day with some pretty good news, and that was that Greece will be participating next year. Really happy to see this. I had seen a couple of people saying that they would possibly pull out because interest in the competition is pretty low. They're an absolute pillar of Eurovision. They haven't missed a contest since 2000. Even when they went through all their financial woes, still came every single year. So very happy to see Greece back. Then we got a little bit of bad news, and that was that TV Monaco will not be participating next year. So yeah, look, it was a little bit of a wild card. They just joined the EBU with their new TV channel, TV Monaco. So it would have been a little bit rushed, but it was still possible. They could have entered if they wanted to. Plus their participation fee would be pretty low considering the population of the country is so small. But yeah, they decided that they're not going to participate. But disappointing not to have them back. It would have been fun to see Charles Leclerc on the stage. He's a piano player. Maybe he could have accompanied someone doing a ballad. That would have been super cool. At the end of the day, I wasn't even expecting to have Monaco around a month ago anyway, so it only feels like I lost something I never had in the first place. So next up we had news about North Macedonia, and this was really exciting. So this isn't an official confirmation, just to be clear, but the broadcaster did release their budget for next year, and in the budget people could see that there was money allocated for both Junior Eurovision and Adult Eurovision, and it was also put on the schedule within the budget as well. So although it's not an official confirmation, this is the same method that we found out that they were not going to be competing last year. The budget was released and there was no money allocated to Adult Eurovision, and then a bit later they announced that they were withdrawing. So although there's no official confirmation, this is the same process as last year. As far as I'm concerned, this is like 97, 98 +% chance that they're coming back. We do know that they want to represent and they have a big passion for Eurovision. And I think that Martin Osterdahl is working hard behind the scenes to try and get these countries to come back as much as possible. It's not absolutely done, but I am going to put them in the confirmed column for now. Really happy to have North Macedonia back. I did miss them. They're the unluckiest country in Eurovision and I want to see them have a little bit of luck. I would love a North Macedonia win. That would be so awesome. Eurovision in Skopje. What? That would be so much fun. So assuming that they're in, that would make 32 countries confirmed so far. And then we got some news about Slovenia making it 33, and it looks like they're also most likely in. Again, we haven't had an official confirmation, but Slovenia haven't missed a contest since 1995, so they're there every single year. Really dedicated. They did very well last year, making the final. A little bit disappointing coming 21st with Joker out, but their viewing figures were really high. Almost 1 million people watched in Slovenia, so I'd be very surprised if they did withdraw. The main basis for people thinking that they're in is that there was a head of of delegation meeting in Berlin, and one of the representatives from Slovenia was there. There was also an article from the main Slovenian Eurovision blog saying that they are in. So presumably they might have some insider knowledge. So again, this is 99% sure. It's not 100%, but I'm going to put them into the confirmed column for now anyway. They're more confirmed than not confirmed, let's put it that way. We were feeling pretty good at this point, but then we had a little bit of bad news. So Pim, who is a Dutch Eurovision fan, sent a message to BG Eurovision, which is the Bulgarian broadcaster, basically saying, are you guys going to be participating this year? Now, their original reply was very abrupt. They did delete it after around, I think, 30-40 minutes. It got quote tweeted so much, so people were not particularly happy about their response. The implication was, we're not going to be there this year or ever again. So that was eventually deleted after around 30-40 minutes, and then we got this tweet, which I'm going to actually screenshot now in case they delete it again, which was a lot more diplomatically worded, saying at this stage there's no specific information to report on the issue. And actually, if you go back through the BNT Eurovision account, which is the Bulgarian broadcaster's specific account for Eurovision, and you look at all their replies, you can see multiple people asking them throughout the year, are you participating, are you participating, and they're constantly saying no, no, no. Like, yeah, theoretically they could be lying because they want to keep it under hush, but generally the vibe right now doesn't seem great. I know Bulgaria has a lot of economic problems. There's a big brain drain now with a lot of young people leaving, and they've got population issues. So yeah, there's other things that support the fact that this is just not a priority for them right now. Really, really sad. I always felt like Bulgaria was going to be the next country to get their first win. They were so strong between 2016 and 2018, obviously coming second place, fourth place in 2016. So really, really sad that it's just things have completely gone off the boil. I don't know when we're going to get them back. Big political and sociological things need to change in Bulgaria before we get them back. So that was a little bit of a downer, but, and this is a big but, we ended the day on an absolute and utter high because we had confirmation from Georgia. I was so freaking happy about this. Generally, I was a little bit concerned. So in case you don't know, Georgia's government right now is pro-Russia. And a lot of people were worried that because of this, they might pull out of the contest, which is obviously like very EU-centric. Also, they're not so great results, not qualifying 6 years in a row. Having said that, they have not missed a single year of Junior Eurovision or Adult Eurovision since they debuted in either. So because of that, that was kind of the one thing I was holding on to. And I'm so happy that they're returning. I love Georgia in the competition. Even though their staging can be very messy and some of their decision making can just be atrocious, I still love how different and weird and outside the box that they think with their entries, and they just give such a unique viewpoint, and I just love having them in the contest. So I was really happy about this. It was a great way for me to end a frantic day of tweeting and liking and quote retweeting and all that, kind of very panicky, flustered day. We need a name for this day. What is this? Participation Confirmation Day. It needs a like snappier title. We need to think of something together. So tentatively now we have those 34 countries in the confirmed. If you want to get really technical, we have 32 confirmed and 2 high likelihoods in North Macedonia and Slovenia. And then we have these 9 countries in the non-participating column. Let's look at the not yet confirmed countries. These are countries who have competed in the past, but have not said whether they're going to be competing or not. Let's go through them one by one. We've got 8 of them. First up is Australia. In case you don't know, Australia has a very unusual way of funding their entry. So Voyager last year were sponsored by Western Australia. Kate Mulhakey had a lot of grants, and then Sheldon Riley, I think he also relied on grants and private funding as well. So Australia have a very atypical system in how they fund. It's not like the BBC or Ireland, for example, where it's just about green lighting it and then this chunk of money comes out and that funds the whole process. The funding that they get from the broadcaster is not enough to cover the whole thing, so there has to be some extra way. Look, I love Australia. You know how much I love Australia in the competition. I really want them to come back. They bring so much passion and quality, and I think the fact that they do have to go to so much trouble to participate means that they don't waste the opportunity because they've worked their asses off to just get themselves there in the first place. I'm really hoping they could do confirm, but realistically there is this massive funding issue. That's a big hurdle that needs to be traversed, and this is every single year now they have to traverse. It's probably pretty exhausting for the delegation to have to stress about how are we going to pay for this again next year. On the flip side, it does open the door for someone who's quite established. If you're a big act in Australia and you've got a record company behind you, you can say, look, we're going to come forward, we've got the funding, we can do it, and they're just going to internally select you. So I suppose it's a double-edged sword in a way. For me right now, Australia is, I would be really pleasantly surprised if they were to come back, but at this point in time, I'm not expecting it. It's going to make me gasp if they confirm. Happy gasp. It'll be a very happy gasp. Don't worry about that. Sorry about the sunlight. It is what it is. Next up, we have Armenia. Now, from what I know about Armenia, they're usually quite late to confirm. They tend to just do their own thing. We know they've already confirmed for Junior Eurovision, where they are the absolute gods of Junior Eurovision. My goodness, they've never been outside the top 9 there. Now, with Armenia, there is some political stuff going on right now, some conflicts with Azerbaijan. That has caused them to withdraw in the past. Obviously, they missed the 2021 competition. Other than that, I'm 100% sure that Armenia are coming back, but that political element of it, I don't know. Really hope they do come back. I feel like they're on good momentum the last 2 years with Rosa Lynn and Burnett, 2 singer-songwriters who had really, really cool different songs. I feel like this is a strategy that will eventually pay off with a win if they continue with it. So really, really hope that we get Armenia back, but they are a country who does not tend to announce early. Let's go to Czechia, one of my favorite countries in the contest, and another country who I think will win eventually if they keep up their quality. Now, last year, Czechia announced very, very, very late. I actually thought that they were going to withdraw. They somehow managed to pull things together at the last minute. I don't know where I heard this, but I did hear from somewhere that they were given the requirement that they needed to be top 10 in 23 in order to get funding for 2024. I don't remember where I heard that, so I apologize. Do not quote me on that, but I remember hearing that somewhere. They did get top 10, just about. They came 10th. So if that thing I heard is correct, hopefully it wasn't a dream. That would be really embarrassing if I just dreamt that. I do have a lot of Eurovision dreams. So I'm just hoping that Czechia is one of these countries that kind of just does their own thing. Eurovision is not massively popular in Czechia, so they don't have a lot of pressure from the public or from Czech Eurovision fans saying, are you in, are you out? They can kind of fly under the radar a little bit. Really hoping they come back. Next up is Hungary. Now, I initially had Hungary in the not participating column, but someone pointed out to me on Twitter that they haven't actually put out an official declaration saying we aren't coming. I went through the Eurovoix, which is a Eurovision news website, looking for historically, do they release a announcement saying we aren't coming? And they don't, as far as I'm aware. So I'm not expecting Hungary back. Nothing's changed. Viktor Orban is still in control there. I don't see why they would suddenly decide to come back. But yes, they haven't officially said no, but I'd put it at like 1% chance of them returning. Now, next up is Montenegro. Now, this one's interesting. I have to admit, I wasn't expecting Montenegro to come back this year, but I saw this kind of interesting cryptic tweet from Montevizia, which is apparently the official Twitter account of Montevizia and of Montenegro in Eurovision. I have heard from a couple of people on Twitter that this account isn't so official. It's run by someone whose name I didn't recognize, so I don't know if this is official or not. But someone tweeted at them saying, now is the time to announce your participation. Is there any news? This Montevizia account replied with Rihanna drinking some tea, not wanting to talk. Now, look, is the account real or not? I don't know. But if it is real, this GIF kind of implies that they have some news, but they can't talk about it yet, which could be quite exciting. So I think if Montenegro were to come back, they should internally select and get a good artist and song first so they know they can be competitive and then submit an entry. I think that's the best strategy for Montenegro. But yeah, basically, I kind of had them as like almost definitely out, and now I'm a little bit more like 50-50. So this was kind of exciting to me. Now, next up, we have Romania. So I already covered this in my last Eurovision news episode, that there's a lot of back and forth. Are Romania coming back or not? I think that Romania is one of these countries I spoke about earlier who has submitted an application and are going to wait until October 13th and see is it viable or not. Can they afford it financially, etc., etc. I did DM the Eurovision Romania community on Twitter yesterday to ask them because they are very involved in the process and they have good connections. And at this point in time, they said they didn't have any new news. So I think this is just a case we got to wait. My gut instinct is maybe they're going to withdraw and recalibrate for next year. But then again, we know that Eurovision is like one of the very few shows that, TVR. Was it TVR Romania and TVP with Poland? What is about TV letter that just means you're a really dramatic broadcaster? My expectation, this is still kind of 50-50. I wouldn't be surprised either way if they were in or out. Apparently 2 of their big shows just got cut from the autumn schedule, so that kind of implies that they are making cutbacks. Okay, our 8th country in the not yet confirmed is Poland. So Poland has been listed by a lot of the Eurovision news websites on Twitter as participating. They have not put out an official participation yet. The source that people are using for Poland participation is a morning TV television host talking about Eurovision. That is not a confirmation. That is just a television host talking about Poland in Eurovision next year. So yeah, we need something a little bit more official. I am expecting Poland. I'm 90% plus that they are going to come back. They haven't missed a contest since 2013. They have a very large TV budget, so I definitely think that they're going to participate. I just don't have any official confirmation or budget reports or anything like that, anything more than kind of gossip at this point. So for that reason, I'm keeping them in the not yet confirmed column. And then finally we have Turkey. Look, Turkey's also a massive long shot as well, but like Hungary, we haven't had an official no yet. We know that Erdogan, the president, his values do not align with Eurovision at this point in time. One of his opponent's policies in the recent election was a return to Eurovision. His opponent was going to return, but Erdogan won the election. So look, it's not impossible, but it's also a big long shot. Just in terms of politically and mentality right now, there's just not massive alignment. I would still love them to come back. I think it would bring Turkey and Europe closer together if they do. All right, so that's where we're currently at this point in time on Saturday, September 16th. We have 34 confirmed countries with 2 that are like not super definite confirmed, and we have 9 people that we're still waiting on. As I said at the start of the video, we may not find out whether those 9 countries are in or out until October 15th. I personally think that Australia, Montenegro and Romania have submitted bids but may withdraw before October 13th without getting that penalty, and I'm pretty confident that Armenia, Czechia and Poland are in. Hungary, 1 in a million. Turkey, 1 in 1,000. In the unfortunate scenario that we do end up with only 34 countries, that would mean we'd have 2 semifinals of 14 countries each, which is a very nice qualification record for countries like Latvia, Georgia and Ireland, because 5/7 of countries will qualify from such a small semifinal. I think that would be the smallest semifinal we'd ever have. I think we'll end up probably with 37 or 38, which means that we'll have 2 semifinals of 16 or a 16 and a 15, which is the same that we had this year. In any case, how many countries do you think we're going to end up with? Who are you happy about? Who are you worried about? Do you have any insider knowledge about Australia or Armenia or Montenegro or anyone like that? Make sure you leave a comment in the comment section down below. If you want to support my channel, please check out my Patreon, where I post exclusives and previews of upcoming videos. I also do early previews of some of my videos in case you want to watch them extra early. And I'm working on developing more super awesome rewards as well. So please do check that out if you want to support my work and the channel. And thank you so much to all my current Patreons who are keeping me alive and sustained. Thank you so much to Sarah for supporting me on Buy Me a Coffee. She gave a donation towards my Luxembourg magnet fund, which I have purchased. I'm waiting on it to be delivered. And finally, thank you so much to David P for supporting me on PayPal. Everyone's support is massively appreciated, but as always, thank you so much just for watching the video and liking and subscribing and doing all that kind of engagement stuff. And thanks so much for watching. Hope to see you in another Eurovision Analysis video very soon. Goodbye.